and hover.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
everybody.
So we are live now. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Angel White. I am the host of Black Excellence in Healthcare, White Coats and Real Talk podcast. Just a little background information about myself. I'm a doctoral prepared family nurse practitioner. I'm also an entrepreneur, a business owner, a nursing educator, a mentor, and a podcast host. I'm also a founder of a non for profit youth organization where I mentor the youth. So that's just a little bit about me in a nutshell, and I will let Lisa introduce herself.
Hey, everybody. I am Lisa Brown, and I am the host of Side Hustle Saturday. And I hear the voices of Black entrepreneurs. What I like to do is I love stories, and I feel like we just haven't been heard. So, my podcast talks to entrepreneurs who are out here doing it, who are out here hustling, side hustling, what have you, telling their story about what it's like to really be in the mix and have a side hustle, not the I started a business and now I'm a millionaire, but what it took to get to start the business and get to the millionaire status. So, been doing the podcast since COVID and love entrepreneurship, and that was my passion. So, I just wanted to have a platform to talk about it.
That's awesome. So we're gonna dive right into the live with a live, a podcast network, which is a black owned network, as we should say, which is awesome. So our prompt for this particular live episode is, what made you stop waiting for a seat at the table and decide to activate or build your own table?
Hmm, that's deep.
Very deep. Very deep.
Well, I'll start. You know, I, I wanted to stop asking for permission. I came from corporate America, been in corporate America for 20 years, and I always felt like I had to ask permission to sit at the table, or I had to prove myself to sit at the table, or I had to jump through hoops to sit at the table. And after a while, like my father used to say, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So
Mhm.
I wanted to make my own way. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to have anybody's or ask for anybody's permission to do what I wanted to do, which was if I felt like I wanted to be promoted, if I felt like I wanted to have an idea and be heard, if I felt like I wanted to start a new process or do something new, I didn't want to have to go through all the red tape. So I started my own thing.
That's awesome. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. To answer that question, for me, it was a little bit different. For me, I never really waited for a seat at the table because deep down inside, I knew my journey was different. From early on in my career as a nurse practitioner and then later on as an entrepreneur, I understood that I wasn't simply called to fit into somebody else's space. I was called to create my own. I always carried the mindset that if the table doesn't exist that I feel is right for me, then it needs to be built.
Mhm,
And that's just exactly what I set out to do in healthcare, in business, even in leadership. I
mhm,
saw how easy it was to be overlooked, to be underestimated, or confined to somebody else's definition of success. And
mhm,
for a moment, I could have chosen to wait for recognition, wait for validation. I could have chosen just to say, okay, I belong here. But I knew that deep down inside in my heart that I was just destined for something different, destined for something greater. So for me, I knew waiting meant giving away my power.
yeah.
So instead, I decided to use my own power and build those spaces where my vision could thrive.
Yeah.
And that choice didn't just come from, without hard work. It meant long nights, sacrifices, and constantly just betting on yourself. And even if the odds wasn't even in my favor, being a Black woman in healthcare, when I was working for others, I didn't like the way that they practiced, their
Hmm.
philosophy of healthcare. I felt like when I was working for big companies, big organizations, they treated patients, humans, like numbers instead of actual people. And I know for me, I didn't want to practice that way. And that's what kind of drove me to open up my own medical practice. So I can practice the way that I want to. So I can give people the care, the quality care that they need, the time that they need, the education that they need. Because a lot of people that come to me, I hear so more often than not that providers dismiss them, providers don't listen to them, or providers just throwing them on medications and not explaining why they got to take that medication or why they need to do that. But what kept me going is just knowing that I was building a seat, not just for myself, but I was creating a table where others can come, where they could be seen, where they could be valued and be inspired to build their own table. So when people ask me why I didn't wait for a seat, my answer simply is because my purpose was never to fit in a place that was not designed for me in the first place. It was to create something bigger, something that's going to leave a legacy, something that empowers others to not wait and build their own too.
Hmm. Do you feel like as Black women that we have to conform to sit at the table?
In a lot of spaces, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we can't just be ourselves
Hmm.
because when we're at the table, we have to act a certain way, be a certain way, look a
Hmm.
certain way. You know, I feel like that it doesn't allow us the freedom to be who we are.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that. But I think, you know, inspiration comes from me. I was really inspired by entrepreneurship
Hmm.
to start this platform and to really understand what it was like to be an entrepreneur. What inspired you to create your platform?
One of the reasons I just stated is because other organizations wasn't just fitting my practice philosophy, but
Hmm.
I always knew that I wanted to do things my way, in a special way, in a good way that I know I could make an impact on others, especially in our Black and Brown community,
Yes.
because it's not seen as often as it should be. And that's one of the reasons why I created Black Excellence in Healthcare, White Coats and Real Talk podcast, to highlight Black healthcare professionals, to highlight Black leaders that's in healthcare that is not seen, that is like undervalued, underrepresented. So I wanted to create that platform to showcase how it's so many amazing Black healthcare leaders out here in this world. And me becoming an entrepreneur, I don't like to listen to nobody. Not in like a bad way, but my mind, the way my mind works and the way God be giving me these visions is like, it's like you're the perfect person to do it. Okay, because even when I was younger, I found that a lot of people gravitated to me.
Hmm.
And even like my teachers, when I was like in elementary, junior high, and high school, they one of my teachers told me that, she said, Angel, you have this special spirit inside of you that is very positive and that lights up rooms.
Hmm.
And when I speak, people listen. People listen.
Yeah.
And what better way than use that to really, give back and make an impact?
Yeah.
Um, so that was one of the few reasons why, I wanted to become an entrepreneur.
Do you think it was hard? You know, I felt like, some people are like, oh, this is so easy.
Mm.
But, what kind of for me, some of the struggles that I had while, trying to pull up to the table, trying to make the table, do the plan for the table. For me, the struggle was the knowledge gap, not knowing. Number two was the imposter syndrome. Who am I to be up here sitting at anybody's table? And then the third one was, do I really understand what it means to sit at the table? What did you go through?
Um, I being an entrepreneur, of course, it comes with tons of challenge. And I
Mm-hmm,
feel like you just really have to have that mindset that
mm-hmm,
you want more, that you deserve more. Because
mm-hmm.
like the imposter syndrome, and you down yourself and you question yourself, like, am I good enough? Do I belong here? Is people, gonna follow what I'm doing, or, want to purchase what I'm selling. Um, you have to have faith and you have to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. It is most definitely hard. What I say is easy is me going to somebody 9 to 5,
Right.
going doing my job and then leaving. That's easy. But when you sit there and you have to be the mastermind and plan and be structured and be organized and come up with these amazing ideas that will set you apart from someone else that may be doing the same thing, you know, that takes a lot of hard work, and that takes a lot on your mental too as well. So you have to be mentally ready, mentally prepared. And of course you're going to have trials and challenges, but you're going to learn along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, this worked, this did not work. People like this, people didn't like this. And you're gonna have your up and down moments. You're gonna have your up and down moments. Entrepreneurship, sometimes you be like, I don't even know if I want to do this. I quit.
Say that all the time, like, do I want to go back to work because that's the easy money? And then I think about, what am I doing this for? Like, what is
Mhm.
my why?
Yes.
And for me, I remember I was teaching a class to some students, and I asked the question, "What is your why?" And you thought they was looking at like deers and headlights because they didn't know. And I told them my why is freedom. I am hustling for my freedom because I like when I can go when I want to go. If I want to go on vacation, I ain't got to ask nobody.
Mhm.
If I don't feel like working in the morning and I want to work at midnight all the way through the end of the night, that's my business and I'm going to do that. So for me, my why is my freedom. What do you think your why is?
My why is, of course, is my freedom, but I wouldn't say that's my number one why. My number one why would be the impact. I
Mm,
felt like I was put on this earth to make an impact in many, 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 many lives. So that's actually what's keep me pushing, what keeps me going, because I know that I'm inspiring others. I know that I'm motivating and encouraging others, and especially our youth with my youth mentorship program. They need to see that this is possible,
yeah.
right? Especially mm, our Black and brown community. They need to see that yes, it can be done with hard work. Yes,
Mhm.
so it's the impact for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like I was at an event yesterday and I was
Mhm.
telling people, of course, I was the only person of color there, but I was telling, I'm going to stop by, say hello.
Okay.
Somebody, and I told them what I was doing. I was talking to a woman, and she was like, "Do you ever turn off?" And I was like, "What does that mean?" I didn't know how to take that. Like, don't you turn it off anytime? And I'm like, I don't know. I had to really think about that. But I'm like, you know, for me, I do turn it off, but I'm constantly thinking 24/7.
Mhm.
I'm constantly, thinking, and maybe that's something I need to work on. What about you? Do you feel like you're always on, or you always have to be on?
I feel like I always have to be on.
Really?
because I have so much on my plate. Um, and I have multiple businesses I'm running. I have multiple businesses I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I'm a mom too.
Mm.
I'm a mom too. So I'm always I'm always on. I when I turn off is probably when I go out of town. When I go
Yeah.
out of town, if I go out the country, I'm on vacation or something. That's when, and half of the time, then I'm not really turning off because I'm taking business calls, I'm taking phone calls. I got my laptop with me, so I'm kind of like always on, but it's like I'm kind of glued that way, like I'm wired that way, and it's just who I am and what I do. So it'll be, yeah, I'm always on. I'm always on. And but then it's I don't know how I would take that if I mean people say, oh, you're doing too much, or you always on the go, or do you ever just stop and be still? And sometimes I just feel like, when you're doing what you're set out to do, and when you're doing everything that your heart desires, people don't understand it, you
Yeah.
know. They don't understand it. So to them it might be, oh, well, you always doing this well. Do you ever shut off? But to me it's like I'm doing everything I desire to do. And if
Right.
that means I'm
100%.
on, then I'm just on.
Used to it. 100%.
Right.
I
Mhm.
was like, should I be offended that she said that? But I'm like, well, am I always on? If I am, that's my business. So
Correct. I don't know how I would have took that. I would have probably had to ask her some more questions. Like, so what do you mean by that? Maybe I can answer it better if you can explain
right,
to me what do you mean by that.
that's what I'm
But and then people probably see you and say, wow, she got this light, and it's like she's always on them. Everybody always happy, always, what I'm saying, pleasant.
saying.
And some people can't handle that.
Yeah, yeah,
Some people can't handle that.
yeah. One of the other things I've noticed about being an entrepreneur, and being at the table is that I might be seen and I might be the only little brown face at the table or be at the table with everybody else, but sometimes I don't feel supported. I think
Mhm.
being an entrepreneur is very lonely. Being a creator can be very lonely because sometimes the people in your circle just don't get it. It's you.
Mhm.
How do you find support?
I have been extremely blessed, and I'm so thankful for that, to have a strong support system. And with my healthcare business, I actually own it with my best friend. We've
Oh,
been we've been best friends since we were 11 years old.
oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So I've been blessed to, and she's also a part of my youth mentorship non-for-profit organization too as well.
Mhm.
So we kind of been doing this thing together, and I just been blessed to have her support, and I have some amazing family, amazing friends that's always willing to, oh, I'll come help, or if she got to be off today, I'll come sit up there with you and check people in.
Yeah.
So I have been extremely blessed to have a good support system, and I tell people, because I hear it all the time when people is, stepping out and becoming an entrepreneur, that they don't have that support system, that they don't have, friends that's probably, interested in doing the same things that they want to do. Just so happened me and my best friend was, we was interested in the same things.
Right.
Um, so that made it, more easier. But I tell people, go out and network and meet new people.
That's
You never know who you might meet that probably interested in the same thing you're interested, probably support and admire your vision,
yeah,
that will support you,
yeah,
but sometimes you have to go outside of your comfort zone, go outside of, the people that are close to you, and network and meet new people. I have met some amazing people. I love networking. Every
yeah.
networking opportunity I can get, I would do
At first, I'm gonna be honest, I hated it because I'm like, what am I gonna say to these people up in here? You know what I'm saying? I hated it because I didn't. You go in and you don't know anybody.
hmm
That you do know is kind of cliquish, so they're off in their corner. And so, before I took this journey and started my own business, I was like, I hated networking. But now, I'm rolling. Hey, how you doing? I'm all up in everybody's face. What you
What
do?
you do? You have to, and that comes with time, right? That comes with time because I meet so many people and they be like, I can't talk to nobody new, or I'm just gonna go up to talk to somebody, like, mm-mm. But once you get in the rooms and you get more confident in yourself and what you do,
Mhm.
you'll find it way more easier. Say, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. What's your name? What you do? And you never know who you might encounter. Because some of my opportunities came from people that I met, like through network.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, what built my confidence was being in front of the camera. When I
Mm,
started my podcast, I knew a woman who started her own wine company. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It was during COVID and I was bored. So I was like, well, I'm going to interview her. Never been on camera, never did a podcast, never went on live on Instagram. So I had all those factors going against me, right? But I did it. And I realized the more I got on camera, the more confident I became. It is the weirdest thing. And so when I talk to my clients about, oh, you need to be on YouTube, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Because with the more often you do it,
mhm.
you'll see that your confidence will build up. Did you kind of face that as well?
No, I was always the little look. I was always the one that was always talking.
Oh, you were chatty Kathy.
I'm a very sociable person. Like my best friend, she'd be like, here you go. Everybody know, like, I'm just like a social butterfly. Like, I don't mind talking to people. Even when I was younger, it just, sometimes I got popped in the head for talking too much. But but yes, no, I never had to have that issue. But I know a lot of people, and a lot of people that's close to me have
Mhm.
experienced that. And yes, I do feel like when you're on camera and you start recording and you get more confident. You do get more confident. I still building up even though I'm confident, I still building up my confidence. It's always room for improvement because
Right.
sometimes we could be our worst critic.
Yeah. And I think when you have that confidence, then you're able to push yourself up to the table. Would you
Yes,
agree?
yes, I agree.
Would you agree? Yeah, I would
Mhm,
say a lot of that has to deal with, saying, I deserve to be here, I deserve
mhm.
to see. And it all deals with your confidence as well.
And those positive affirmations, you telling yourself, yes, I deserve to be here.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
know.
be here, whether you like
Hmm.
it or not.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, that's your problem, right?
Exactly, exactly. I know, when I was doing my side hustle, I wanted to figure out how to monetize it. I didn't want to be on here just, what does that look like, to monetize or to whatever you do, how did you work through that?
Well, so for me, this is like a new era for me. The podcast, I was never in the podcast world.
Oh, okay.
Um, it was actually somebody very close to me that passed away from breast cancer was telling me to start a podcast, and I'm like, I don't even listen to podcasts. you know, like, she was just like, you would make a bigger impact, you would reach more people. So
Mhm.
actually, I just started my podcast. Well, I released the first. Well, I started last year researching and things like that, and what I want to name it and what I want to be about. But I actually didn't air my first episode until May of this year.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So it's fairly new. It's fairly new, just a couple months old. But I have been like reaching out, for like sponsorships and things like that.
Yeah.
Far as monetizing it. Now I have been getting feedback and certain companies that pay you for like commercials and things like that. They
Mhm.
do want your downloads and your followers at least, well, some people say 1K, some people say 10K. So it's still in the growing phase right now. It's only a
Mhm.
couple months old, but that is the goal, because it's very time consuming. It's very time consuming. And then I do have guests, I do like the, get them incentive, for coming on and things like that. And then all this equipment and stuff, all that costs too. The software and all of that. It does cost, but I'm doing it for good reason. And I just feel like, what's for me will come.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, one of the hurdles that I have to come through is guests, like booking people.
Okay.
How do you work through that?
It's a little bit easier for me because I'm in the healthcare field.
Yeah,
So, and then my podcast about healthcare professionals.
right.
So a lot of people I already know, and then the people that I do know others, and they tell them about it. I just really just I do a lot of posting on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a flyer, a post that say if you want to be a guest, DM me. And I had several people
Oh, wow.
DM me. Like, it's been, since I started this, it's been very successful. I'm extremely booked up with guests.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. Yes. So, which is a blessing in itself, and I'm thankful for that. But networking too, like the past few networking events I went to, I told them about the podcast, and they were super excited. They was like, "Oh, well, give me your information, give me your Instagram," and I
Mhm.
send them the intake form. They'll fill it out right away, and I get them scheduled. It's just really just networking with other people, talking to other people, especially the people that's in your niche, your target audience.
Yeah.
So that's who you want to target. So with your side hustle Saturdays, right? Correct.
Uh-huh.
Do you, what guests are you looking for, or what guests do you have on your platform?
I look for me, I like guests that have interesting stories.
Okay.
Because I feel like as entrepreneurs of color, we're only seeing like, well, y'all can rap, y'all can sing, you know, or y'all
Hmm.
can do hair,
Hmm.
I think there's a stigma. And I always look for guests who break that stigma. For example, I had two guys that created their own toilet paper company, which I thought,
Hmm.
see,
Okay. That's awesome.
right. They create, and it's sustainable. It's made from bamboo. I just talked to a gentleman that I'm going to be airing in the next 2 weeks, Sizzle, and he is a microbrewer, black owned microbrewery. Never heard of that. And he's going to have a brewery that is going to talk to black entrepreneurs to make their own beverages. And he's going to, yeah, just
That's
really cool. Right.
okay.
So stories like that, I look for the extraordinary when it comes to Black voices and Black stories,
Okay.
because we are out here doing it, and I don't think we get recognized for that.
You are absolutely right. We don't. It's a lot that we don't get recognized for, that we
Well,
have done and been doing, our ancestors been doing,
right.
creating things. Black people is just phenomenal.
We and
And
that's go
they
ahead.
like the biggest creators of
They are.
so many amazing things.
That's
That's awesome.
I love the Live Podcast Network because it's a place for Black voices. It's a place for people to come and see the depth and the breadth of us out here in this creator economy. We can do more than just what you see on television, and so that's why I love to talk to people that are out here doing just really different things that you would have
Hmm.
never have thought of, like, oh, and you kind of like take pause. They doing that? Maybe I can do that too. How they do that? So what if you could collaborate with anybody or have anybody on your show, on your
Hmm.
podcast, who would it be?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. Um. Hmm. Who would I have on my show that if I can collaborate with? Mm,
I tell you,
mm.
I would want.
You caught me on that one.
I would want, and everybody's gonna be like, girl. I would want Oh, I have two. Shaquille O'Neal,
Okay.
because I feel like he has reinvented he's everywhere. You know, he went from being a basketball player to now he has all these businesses, right?
Mhm.
And then 50 Cent.
Okay.
I would want to talk to him about his business acumen. I think he just is, you know, you look at him like, oh, he's just this rapper, but I would have never have known him to take in or do the television space, to do the
Mm.
series he did with Ghost and everything. And, you know, I just was like, that's just phenomenal. Like, how do you transition and do something from here to there? So those would be my two.
Hmm. I would try to interview everybody. I mean, I have so many people that I like, I love. Um, I really, really do. But one of my favorites, who I just seen recently, attended one of her shows, is Kendra G.
Okay.
I I love her energy. She's such a dope soul, like very just her true authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
She most definitely would be, and she used to be on the radio station here, out in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
She most definitely would be a woman of interest that I would love to interview on my podcast. So Kendra G, if you listening,
Girl.
come on my podcast. No.
What do you think is one word that really would describe the chapter in your life that you're going through right now?
Growth.
That's a good
Growth. Growth. Um, Pretty much every stage of my life is like a growth process. Just striving to be better than what I was yesterday.
yeah,
Um, and not just as a person, not just as a woman, not just as a mother, but as a career professional and as a business owner too, as well. I'm always looking for areas of improvement within myself and all the things that I do. But this season is a really, really growth season for me because, like I said, I just started this podcast
hmm
and I had no intentions on starting a podcast. I didn't even have interest or even listen to podcasts.
yeah,
But sometimes God put things on you and in you.
yeah.
Um, and I just knew that I would be the perfect person to get this out to the world,
hmm
because they need to hear it, they need to see it, because Black healthcare professionals are all have been underrepresented for a long, long time,
100%. Yeah.
and that stops now.
So, there you go.
That
There
stops
you
now.
go. I would say for me, it's strength.
Strength. Okay.
Yeah. There have been times where I've been like, oh, Lord, what have I got myself into? I've got my highs and lows, like, yeah. And then it's like, oh my God, how am I going to get through the day? And I think to be an entrepreneur, you have to have tough skin and you have to be strong and you have to be willing to fail. And when those walls come up or when you feel like I can't do it anymore, you got to be willing to pick up yourself and keep it going because there will be
Mhm.
times, trust me when I tell you, when you want to throw the towel in quick. Like a 3-point jumper like Michael Jordan. You want to throw it in real quick. But if you are a true entrepreneur and you believe in yourself, you're just going to do it. You're just going to hang on and you're just going to do it. What and I know we have to wrap up here, but what's the one mantra that you live by?
Be the example you want to see,
Mm,
because a lot of times, even I don't know how you was raised, but and my culture is, used to get a we'll get a whooping by mama and she say, do as I say, not as I do. I never understood that. Um But no, just be and walk in what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, a lot of people would tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should be this, you should be that. But for yourself, be exactly who you want to see. Be exactly when you look in that mirror, are you proud of the person that you see? Do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you walking in your journey, you walking in your calling, you walking in your purpose? Um, just lead by example, lead by example. Give
Mm-hmm.
the world what you want to see in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Mine is there's room at the table for everybody.
Mhm.
Everybody, no matter what, there is room at the table for you too. And I live by that all the time.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
It is room for everybody
Yes.
because people need to understand what's for you is for you, and can't nobody stop that but you.
100%. 100%. 100%.
Yes. Mhm.
So how if people wanted to get in contact with you, how do they get in contact? Like, girl, I want to be on her podcast. Wait a minute, I'm a healthcare professional, or how can they reach out to you?
Come be on my podcast. No, you can and I'm very silly too. You can reach me. I have so many social media pages, but if you want to be on Black Excellence in Healthcare, White Coats and Real Talk podcast, you can reach out to me on Instagram at white coats underscore real talk underscore podcast. Or you can follow my personal page
Mm-hmm.
at Dr. underscore Angel White, and you will have access to all of my business profile and all of my information. Whether you want to check out my healthcare clinic or if you want to be on the podcast, all of that information is there. You can follow me on TikTok at Dr. Angel White too as well. You can follow me on Facebook at Angel White.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
And everybody follow her on the Alive Podcast Network. Stream those podcasts. And you're on YouTube as well?
yes, I'm on YouTube too.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, White
Subscribe
Coats and Real Talk Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the Alive Network.
100 and yes, subscribe today. When we get done, make sure you do that. And then I'm on YouTube at Side Hustle Saturday. Follow me there, subscribe to the channel. And I'm on Instagram at Side Hustle underscore Saturday. And we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, both of us with the Alive Podcast Network. We're on, she's on all the streaming platforms.
Yes.
All the streaming.
Yes, I just say on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, you will find us. You will find us.
Exactly. And let's
Most
support
definitely.
Black voices. We have a lot to say. There's things out in the atmosphere right now where they're talking about getting rid of the slavery exhibitions, talking about, we're tired of being woke in the Smithsonian, which is so, it just seems like it's a bad thing when we talk about slavery, but it's history.
Yes.
We need to keep our voices alive and we need to be heard. And that's what this platform is for. And I commend Angel for doing this and having us on here. And I'm so thankful when she reached out to me, and I'm sure when she reached out to you that,
Mhm.
you know, I'm able to be part of this amazing, amazing platform. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And everybody out there, don't forget, download the app. Make sure you tune in to me, to Side Hustle Saturday, to Dr. Angel, and keep those Black voices going.
Keep them Black voices going. Well, we enjoyed tonight. We enjoyed being on the Alive Podcast Network. Again, as Lisa stated, make sure that you're following us on our platforms. Make sure that you subscribe to the Alive Podcast Network because it's some phenomenal, amazing Black people on there that's doing great in this community. So until next time.
Until next time.